first and foremost, the word privatization. The way how I look at the word privatization is more of private participation in a sector rather than its another meaning, that is selling of state assets. So when focusing on the participation of the private sector, of private institutions in the educational sector, it seems necessary because that in the presence of private sector institutions, there happens to be diversity and more options on the table so that people can choose them. And this is not a blind defense of the current model which we have and which are offered by private institutions. It needs some changes, and with those changes, private involvement has huge potential to improve our educational system even more.
I would like to remember the words of French philosopher Michel Foucault, which says that school serves as same social function as prison and mental institution. I think it's genuine when it comes to the unmanageable expenditure of private education. When government institutions give importance to job securities, private institutions often does not give importance to job securities for its employees and staffs. Also, it leads to autonomy of institutions. We have seen that most of the institutions works according to their own rules and regulations and their own wills. Most of the degree obtained from private institutions does not have job markets, or the job marketers are not aware of the degrees offered by most of the public institutions. If this higher education is privatized, we can say that...
Your time up.
The participation or the presence of private sector institutions in education actually improves the options which we have on the table, and with proper measures, people can access them. And it is a fact that private institutions offer many courses that are not usually offered by the public sector.
Out to you.
There are public institutions which offers number of courses, and we are living in a country where fittest are surviving. And if public institutions are conducting exams for selecting their students, whereas private institutions are replacing the talents with that of money.
And the thing is that specified courses, especially new generation courses, are often found first in private institutions. It takes a lot of time for the public sector to adopt them. And hence, private institutions and the private sector often in close contact with industry quickly understands the needs of industry and acts in a quicker manner.
Clear.
The private institutions mainly focus on research rather than providing quality educations. By introducing new courses, they are proving themselves, or they are researching in that particular topic. It is not good for the future generation or the betterment of students.
Out to you.
Actually, what I said earlier, that this is not a blind defense of the current model. A common complaint that we hear from industrialists is that current students do not have the skills which are needed for the market. What those industrialists can actually do is get themselves involved in education and deliver a system which actually imparts the skills needed for the market.
Out to you.
We can undoubtedly say that private institutions focus on spoon feeding, when public institutions focus on the intellectual development of each and every student. We know that the prominent personalities in India like APJ Abdul Kalam and Manmohan Singh, who rule the countries, have studied in public institutions.
Clear.
The thing, when we talk about freedom, the lack of freedom, it exists in both sectors as well. When we see suicides in IITs and IIMs, those problems exist in the private sector as well. It's not just a sector-specific problem. We need a set of values and freedoms that apply everywhere.
Out to you.
When we focus on the increasing suicide rates, the main reasons for the students to go into suicide is lack of money for their higher educations. If this private sector focus on give admissions for high income groups, what is the situations of lower income groups?
Please.
There are alternative ways. Firstly, companies actually should spend more. Companies should actually show a social responsibility and spend more through and outside CSR funds and fund education. They should make education affordable, and it would be a way of showing their social responsibility.
All right.
Most of the private
Yes.
Most of the private institutions works on commercialization, and they give only mere importance to social responsibilities. Can you say that private institutions rather focus on social responsibilities than commercialization?
Over to you.
There are examples, although few, like the Tata Institute of Social Sciences and Asim Premji University. Of course, there are changes which needed to be made, but there are shining examples which just need to be adopted across the private sector.
Clear.
The thing is, in private institutions, there is actually brain drain rather than their intellectual development. If one is provided with better facilities, better infrastructure, there is a wrong notion that one is provided with better facilities, they can improve in their studies. It is not like that.
And your time up.